Thank you. The Honourable Leader of the ND Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Education Minister asked yesterday for proof that any students had ever been denied the right to set up a gay-straight alliance in their school. Today it's come to light that the Minister was not only aware of at least one such case, he actually wrote a letter to the St. Albert School Board supporting just such a decision. Mr. Minister, can you please explain this contradiction?
Honourable Minister of Education.
Mr. Speaker, the reality is the situation he's talking about happened 2 years ago. So I am not aware in the last 2 years of another case. My understanding with respect to that case is it was handled at the local level, which is where we would submit these things should be handled. So we had a student who was in that situation. He brought that forward. He wanted to set up a GSA. The school board, the local principal, the administration recognized that they had an issue, and my understanding is that they dealt with that issue to the satisfaction of all concerned. So that's my understanding of the situation. I haven't heard anything to the contrary in the last 2 years, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. First supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, I didn't know that there was a statute of limitations on the truth. The Minister has suggested to us that because his involvement took place more than 2 years ago, that the proof that he asked for was not. I mean, I'm flabbergasted that he would kind of use that excuse for not telling the House the facts that there are cases where GSAs are prohibited by schools. He was aware of it, and he actually wrote a letter to support it. Why, Minister?
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the letter I wrote said that I was in support of the local school board making decisions that are appropriate for the local school. My understanding is not that the GSA was refused, but that they dealt with the issue to the satisfaction of all concerned. And that one of the issue was, to my understanding, and this is what happens in many schools, is kids come forward with the bullying issue, but there's other students in need that have bullying issues, and there might be a bullying issue in the school, so they want to set up a support group for all students and not be exclusionary to others just setting up a GSA. Those are decisions that should be made at the local level. That's what was supported in the letter.
Member of Calgary Buffalo, one more wow and you'll be wowing with me. The Honourable Leader for the ND Opposition, final supplemental.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Well, wow. The Minister is telling us, or he told us, that there was no proof that kids who wanted to set up a GSA had ever been stopped by a school or a school board, and yet he knew that there was. And he didn't tell us that. And now he's using weasel words to try and get around the fact that he did not give us a statement in accordance with what he knew to be true. So what is the problem, Minister? Why can't you tell the truth?
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I am speaking the truth. I obviously in 2012 was aware that there was a student that brought forward a request for a GSA. I'm not aware of any outstanding issues with students bringing forward requests for GSAs that have been turned down that have not been resolved to the student's satisfaction. My understanding was in that situation it was resolved to the student's satisfaction.
Thank you.